name is Brent Joy Mudd.
Hi, my name is Anthony Muno.
Hello, my name is Joshua Kemling, and we'll be doing an excerpt from Frost Nixon. I will be playing Mr. Nixon.
I will be playing Mr. Frost.
And I'm Nixon's assistant.
Well, Mr. President, we have found something rather more interesting than Mr. Bob Haldeman's notes. There's one conversation in particular with Charles Colson, which I don't believe has been published yet.
Hasn't been published, you say?
No. One of my researchers from Washington found it, where it is available to anybody who consults the records.
Oh, I just wondered if we'd seen it.
No more than seen it, Mr. Nixon. You actually spoke the words. You have always claimed that you first learned of the break on June 23rd, but this tape, made 3 days earlier, clearly shows that it to be a falsehood. In it, you talk to Mr. Colson. You tell him that, quote, this whole investigation rests unless one of the 7 begins to talk. That's the problem.
Well, what do we mean by one of the 7 begins to talk?
Then moving onto a conversation that you had with John Dean March 21st of the following year. In one transcript alone, in black and white, I was able to pick out 1, you could get $1 million and you could get it in cash. I know where it can be gotten. 2, your major guy to keep under control is Hunt. 3, don't we have to handle the Hunt situation? 4, get the $1 million. It would seem to me that would be worthwhile. 5, don't you agree that you better get the Hunt thing going? 6, first you got the Hunt problem. That ought to be handled. 7, the money can be provided. Ehrlichman can provide a way to deliver it. 8, we've no choice with Hunt but the $120,000 or whatever that is, right? 9, Christ, turn over the cash we got.
I think that's
now,
quite enough, Mr.
President.
Frost.
Now, it seems to me that someone running a cover-up couldn't have expressed it more clearly than that. Now, could they?
Look, let me stop you right there. You are doing something which I am not doing, and I will not do throughout these broadcasts. You are quoting me out of context, out of order.
Mr. President, you've always maintained that you had no knowledge of anything that was going on prior to March 21st. However, in February, your personal lawyer flew out to Washington to gather $210,000 that would then be paid to the burglars. Now, do you honestly expect us to believe that you had no knowledge of this?
None. I believe the money was for humanitarian purposes, to help disadvantaged people with their defenses.
It was being delivered on top of phone booths, using aliases, people in airports with gloves. Now, that's hardly the way that a lawyer is delivered his fee.
Well, I've made statements to this effect before. All of that was Haldeman and Ehrlichman's business. I knew nothing.
Well, all right, but if Haldeman and Ehrlichman were in fact responsible, then why did you not have them arrested when you subsequently learned of this? Why did you not call the police? Is that not just another way of covering it up?
Maybe I should have done it. Maybe I should have just called the feds into the office and said, here are the 2 men. Haul them down to the dock, fingerprint them, and throw them into the can. But I'm just not built that way. These men, Haldeman and Ehrlichman, I knew their families. Known them since they were just kids. And I've always maintained what they were doing, what we were all doing, was not criminal. When you're in office, you have to do a lot of things which are not in the strictest sense of the law legal, but you do them because they're in the greater interests of the nation.
Wait, did I just hear that right? Did you just say that in certain situations, the President of the United States must assess those situations and determine whether or not to take legal action or illegal action?
I say that when the President does it, that means it's not illegal.
I am sorry?
That's what I believe. I realize no one else shares that view.
So in that case, will you accept then to clear the air once and for all, right now, that you did, in fact, cover it up. And you did, in fact, break the law.
Okay, let's take a break right now, okay?
What the hell are you doing? What are you...
I'm sure we can find a solution that works best for everyone.
What solution? This is an interview. You are deliberately sabotaging this. Just put in a new tape.
Okay, everyone, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Mr. President, we were talking about the period of March 21st, April 30th. I'm wondering, would you go further on about your mistakes? The word, as it is, seems that it is not enough for the people to understand.
Well, what word would you express?
All right. Since you asked me, there are 3 things that the American people want to hear you say. 1, I made more than mistakes while in office. There was wrongdoing. Yes, in fact, there might have been crime too. Secondly, I abused my power as President of the United States. And thirdly, I put the people of the United States through 2 years of agony. And I apologize for that. And I understand it's difficult for anyone to admit that, most certainly you, but I feel that if you don't, you will regret it for the rest of your life.
It's true. I've made mistakes. Horrendous ones. Ones that were not worthy of a president. Ones that did not meet the standards of excellence that I dreamed of as a young boy. But if you remember, it was a different time. I was caught up in a 5-front war against a partisan media, a partisan House of Congress, a partisan urban committee. But I admit there were times I did not fully meet that responsibility and was involved in a cover-up, as you call it. And for all those mistakes, I have a very deep regret. But if you want me to get down on the floor and grovel, I still maintain they were mistakes of the head, not mistakes of the heart. And they were my mistakes. I don't blame anyone else. I brought myself down. I gave them a sword, and they stuck it in me, and twisted it with relish. And I suppose if I had been in their position, I would have done the same.
And the American people,
I let them down. I let down my friends. I let down my country. Worst of all, I let down our system of government and the dreams of all those young people that ought to get into government but now think it's too corrupt. I let the American people down. And I have to carry that burden with me for the rest of my life. My political life is over. Thank you.
From the Book of Mormon.
Yes.